Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to finally review the new Marvel movie Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, whereas you guys in the rest of the world have been lucky enough to enjoy this since July, we've had to wait till the beginning of August in the UK to watch this due to a little thing known as the World Cup. They didn't see the point in releasing it at the busiest point of the World Cup because nobody would go and watch it at the cinema, because at the peak of the viewing figures of the World Cup, like the England matches were getting like 25 million people watching the matches, so they're not going to go to the cinema. So as frustrating as that is, and as much as I have enjoyed the World Cup, it's delayed this film, but I've finally been to see it now. I've been to see the earliest showing I could, the night after it opened. And after the highs this year of Black Panther and the incredible Infinity War, the first one, I think this film had an awful lot to live up to. Really did. And while I do think this is a very good film and very entertaining and a lot of fun, it is easily the worst Marvel film of the year. Now, that doesn't mean it's a bad film, because it absolutely isn't. It's a great film and it's a lot of fun. It's just number 3 in regards to the Marvel movies this year. What is this movie about? Well, this movie, at the beginning you get Scott. It explains why he wasn't part of the Infinity Wars, basically because he's been under house arrest for 2 years after Civil War, not allowed to leave the house. He's got a tag on his leg, and he has this strange dream from when he went into the the quantum phase place in the last film. He's experiencing dreams, and he's basically having dreams about Michelle Pfeiffer, Hank Pym, Michael Douglas's character's wife, who we see at the beginning of this movie, who he lost in the quantum phase many years ago, when Evangeline Lilly's character was very young and just a girl. So they make contact with Scott, because they need what's in his head. They take him to the lab with the intention of getting out what they need from his head in order to go and find Michelle Pfeiffer's character, who's been stuck in the quantum phase for 30 years. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but I can't remember what it's called, so I shall call it the quantum phase. While they're trying to secure some technology, they are attacked by a ghost-like villain who can phase in and phase out of reality, who steal the technology that they need, and the rest of the film is them trying to ward off this ghost figure, try and get the technology they need to go into the quantum phase and get Michelle Pfeiffer, all in the while to make sure Scott doesn't get arrested and put in the jail for the rest of his life, because he's still tagged all this time and he's under house arrest still. And that's the basic premise of the story here. There's other things going on here and there, but that's the idea. Now, we've got everybody returning for this movie. You've got Michael Payne, obviously, you know, Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas. You get all those returning, and you get Michelle Pfeiffer and Lawrence Fishburne included in this movie. And it's very good, is this movie. It's a lot of fun. I think there are some aspects of this movie that don't work. We've got Walter Goggins in the movie, who his character and that storyline didn't need to exist. I don't think that added anything to the film, if I'm honest. There's little things like that I don't think worked, that they wrote into it. And I believe Paul Rudd was one of the writers for this movie. The comedy, I think, is just right in this movie. Perfect. I think it speaks to Paul Rudd's comedy talents, and it's very entertaining, and it still maintains that level of I don't think threat's the right word, because it doesn't feel like there's a huge threat going on in this movie, really. It's more it's quite an enclosed story. Basically, it's about them trying to rescue Michelle Pfeiffer. That's the crux of this story, with this ghost-like villain trying to get the technology she needs. I think the villain again. I think they've gone to the generic villain cupboard, opened it up, and pulled out this character. I think they misused it. My understanding is this Ghost character has different origins in the comics. I felt it was a bit misused, the villain, and not particularly threatening. So weak villain in the movie. Well, there's three villains really. You got Walter Goggins, this Ghost character, and somebody else I'm not going to spoil, and all of them are weak, and even combined together don't make us strong villains for the movie. The effects are great. There's some really good action set pieces. Certainly the last 20-25 minutes is a bit of a roller coaster and a lot of fun. We get as post-credit scenes that directly link into Infinity War, which obviously I'm not going to spoil. So it does give us a lot of answers, and it raises a lot of questions as well. So I do think this is a very, very strong addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's be honest, they all are. They've never really done a bad movie, even if you consider the early ones. You know, none of them are shockingly bad. And this isn't either. It's just, after the highs, like I say, of Black Panther and Infinity War, it kind of feels like a bit of a come down, this movie. It almost doesn't feel like it belongs in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It feels like its own film, which probably was the intention, I'm guessing. They haven't spent much of the movie trying to tie into this movie and this character and all this kind of stuff. They've just focused on writing a good movie, an entertaining movie, and where they've needed to, i.e. the post-credit scenes and the explanation of the tag on his leg, that's how they've tied it into the other movies. So there's there's no cameos from any other superheroes, Marvel heroes here. It's just Ant-Man, it's just Wasp, who's a great addition, by the way. Evangeline Lilly does a fabulous job as the Wasp. I think Michael Douglas was great in this film as well. His humour was bang on. There's a scene where his new Ant-Man suit, Paul Rudd, it keeps malfunctioning. It's not just perfect already yet. And he goes to a school to get something from his daughter. And it keeps malfunctioning, so he looks like a little kid basically. And when he gets back into the van and Michael Douglas says, "How you doing, champ? Did you have a nice day at school?" I mean, that whole scene was lovely, you know. Very, very funny. So yeah, I think this is a very good Marvel movie. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I don't think it doesn't reach the highs of the earlier films this year, but it is a fine addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Lots of fun, highly entertaining, great for the family. There's nothing really that stands out of any concerns here, so young kids will be fine with this movie. And for me, guys, I'm really delighted to have seen it now. So roll on the next Marvel film. So again, thanks very much for watching, everybody.